Hey, Rifters, welcome to the show. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend. Very excited for today's guest. It's going to be fantastic. He's in this new movie called Lilo and Stitch. It's going to be a mega hit. Lilo and Stitch. It's a live version. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how live versions are making a huge comeback into the scenes and stuff. You've also seen him in Star Wars: The Legend of Boba Fett, uh, and then The Wolf of Snow Hollow. The great Skyler Bible is going to be here via Zoom, and it's going to be fantastic. All right, and now we wait. Enjoy this episode of Reza Riffs. The Skyler Bible coming up.
From Hollywood, California, welcome to Reza Riffs with your host, Keith Reza.
Hi, Skyler Bible.
Hi, good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you, man. Thanks for doing this.
Of course.
You're doing a lot of press for the big film, Lilo and Stitch.
It's been a lot. It's all good stuff, though. It's been fun.
Yeah. So let's talk about this for a second, because this is like probably the movie that's gonna change your career, right? Because
I hope so, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a mega hit, obviously, only because Disney and stuff, and the cartoon one was huge, and I've noticed live action movies do like probably way more money than the.
I don't know how that's possible. I always thought that like the animated versions of things were always on a higher level. Toy Story and all the Pixar stuff, and But I mean, lately, like the Lion King, most recent live action did crazy, and just everything else has been really good. So hopefully this does well.
It's gonna be huge. Like even the Snow White one, like that made a lot of money, and it got panned. You know what I mean?
It wasn't even that good.
It was But no, so how did did this come into function with you? Like, did you audition for it? Like how do you know they were making Lilo and Stitch the live action movie?
So I have an agent in Hawaii. Just because I have friends that live out there, and so I'll like go back and forth, and so I just got an audition for it, and I had done NCIS Hawaii as well, just like a quick little episode. And so casting kind of knew me too.
Yeah.
And then when this came through, I would say like 8 times out of 10, I always play like the serviceman guy, like the cop or the EMT or like the paramedic or the astronaut. And so when this came through, it was like a CIA agent, like a goofy CIA agent who doesn't really know what's going on. It was kind of like it's a perfect fit. At least I thought so.
That's awesome. So explain Agent Foster a little, like give us a little character detail, because I gotta be honest with you, Skyler, as much as I love you, I haven't seen the cartoon version in forever, so I don't even know if Agent Foster is in the cartoon version.
So Agent Foster is actually not in the cartoon. So they made a few. Yeah, so he's a new guy. He's like in the cartoon Cobra Bubbles, the like CIA guy that like shows up that like is it's like a faux villain. He's not really, but I'm like his right hand man in the live action version. So like I'm the guy that like checks him and sir, I don't know if this is the right thing. It's that kind of a guy. But even so, he's a goofy agent guy. He doesn't quite know what's going on, but he thinks he knows what's the right thing is to do. But then Cobra is kind of off in his own world, and trying to connect with him any way he can is kind of like Agent Foster's MO. But
so we call that an assistant to the main guy.
Exactly.
That's like the worst job to have.
I know. He's trying to, sir, please. No. Okay, it's that.
It's kind of like, especially if you know like the guys like doing wrong stuff, you kind of have to just deal with it, even though you know it's bad. You're like, hey,
you're gonna have to go with it. Yeah,
yeah. We should probably not kidnap these children, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, but that's exciting. So it was filmed in Hawaii, so that's kind of cool because like you've been there before, so that's kind of like common ground. Like that's like a
Yeah.
vacation working.
It's the best. It's the best because you work 1-2 days and then you have 4 off or whatever, and you just have sporadic work days. So when you're not working, you can go surfing, you can go hiking, you can go. It was total vacation with a little bit of work thrown in. It was great.
Now, did you sign an NDA or like when you were in Hawaii, did you tell everyone like, hey, I'm the star of Lilo and Stitch, let me eat here?
No, it was very NDA. It was very like, Disney has people everywhere. So you can't, it's very hush hush for a while too. And I know they pushed it like a year or something as well. So it was just kind of keeping it under wraps for a while.
Wait, they pushed it like it was supposed to come out a year ago? Or
yeah, it was supposed to go straight to Disney Plus.
What?
And then I think in D23 or something, they made a big announcement that it was going to go theatrical release, but then the next year.
Well, that's good news for you, even though it seems like at the time probably bad news, right?
Yeah. I thought, I was like, oh, what? I was going to be out for a year. Come on.
Yeah.
But this is so much better. I mean, I think they're pulling out all the stops for marketing and they're getting the word out and there's billboards and posters and stuff everywhere. And
I kind of wish I had a child so I could like go take him to go see this movie so you could get double money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. But no, so like Hawaii, like I'm very fascinated by that. Like what are some of the things, because like I went to Hawaii once and
oh, nice.
it was just once. You're not gonna say after I tell you this story. So like they have like, here's the thing. I didn't know they had multiple islands. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm at a Hawaii island and then I see another island. I'm like, oh, what's that island? They're like, oh, it's Hawaii. I was like, I thought I was on Hawaii. So like, how is that? Like you go dolphin surfing or like, what do you do?
Oh, I wish. No, so I was on Oahu, that island. Went to North Shore. I was kind of all over the place. I explored the island, explored kind of all reaches of the center of the island. You can hike, and there's a bunch of waterfalls and stuff.
Yeah.
The food is incredible in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
They have like the best poke in the world. Just like the raw fish on rice stuff.
Yeah.
It's home away from home. It's really, really wonderful to go.
Did you ever go volcano searching?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
How is that? Like, was that?
I mean,
scary?
The whole thing is like a volcano. Like, they're all inactive, other than like the Kauai one, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. But no, this one, it wasn't active, but it was very cool just to like, because once you get up there, you can see kind of 360 view of like the whole island.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. It's paradise. It's paradise.
Like I'm very fascinated about the volcano thing because I think volcanoes are it's so weird because they're beautiful, but yet they're also very scary if they like
can end the world.
Yeah.
They all go off. Yeah.
Like I see all these movies about volcanoes and it never ends good. You know what I mean?
No, never.
And it's like, like it's one of those wise tales when you're a kid or whatever, they teach you about, you're like, oh, there's no way there's something that hot that could melt you. You know what I mean? And
right.
And then you see on the news, some guy got melted by a volcano. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah. I know in Iceland, they had like a big eruption and it like shut down like half of like you couldn't drive anywhere. Like the lava was like over all the roads and stuff. It was crazy.
Yeah. Now you have to ask yourself, how do they like get rid of the lava? Because if it's hotter than fire, the fireman's not gonna be like, ah.
Yeah, no one is going out there to like do anything, but it's waiting until it hardens and then
it's so weird, isn't it? You're like, oh my god,
you can't do anything against it. It's crazy.
And then like like this is like kind of like a history thing. You know how like they find like all these diamonds and stuff, and they're like, ooh, this diamond was frozen 5,000 years ago. And now imagine if you got like lava melted, right? In 5,000 years, they're going to find your body and they're going to be like, ooh, Skyler Bible.
Oh, look, we found him. Cool.
He was in, it's just so, I think the world is just so like crazy and fascinating like that. And Hawaii is the one place I know has a lot of volcanoes. So
yeah, they're all volcanoes. I mean, they at least were at one point, Yeah. Crazy.
So what was your favorite food you got at Hawaii?
There was a bakery there. I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm not going to say it. But there was a bakery on the North Shore, very small, and they had these things called snow puppies that are like a mix between like a chocolate croissant and a cream puff and like a donut, all in the same like little pastry, and they're the best things in the world.
I know what you're talking about. I know the name of that place.
Yeah. What is the name of that place?
It's called Volcano Bakery.
It's definitely not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good though. Those are things I think I got 2 or 3 of those a day. Easy.
Now, so how long did it take you to film this movie? Because in the olden days, it would take like 6 to 8 months to film a movie, but now with everything like on digital and stuff, and like you could probably film it on your phone, it probably cuts the timeline in half a little.
Totally. I mean, I think they were out there for, I want to say 3 months, 4 months, maybe.
Yeah.
But Hawaii weather is all over the place. It looks sunny, 1 hour, and then it's raining the next, and then the next hour it's cold, and the next hour it's super hot, and it just like storms kind of roll through all the time. So that was like a big schedule thing. So like I would be scheduled for shooting 2 days in a week.
Yeah.
If it was all outside, it was all like in the jungle somewhere. So if it's raining, you can't shoot, you can't have cameras out there. And so it was very much on like, I would get a call the day before and be like, oh, we have to push your dates.
Oh.
And so it would be so fast and you just have to roll with the punches.
Yeah. Did they give you like a Walt Disney card so like everything was on them while you were in Hawaii?
No way. I wish. That would have been great.
Yeah, like because like I filmed one movie once, right? And they didn't give me a Walt Disney card because it wasn't a Disney movie, but they gave me like a Lionsgate card, right? And they're like,
that's cool.
And they're like, hey, they're like, go nuts, and you're like, all right, cool. So I went nuts, and then I got fired. So you should never go nuts when everyone says go nuts. It's
like definitely not
crap. But hey, I found this pretty interesting about you. I did a little research, and did you know that you're in probably the last Robert Forster movie that's ever been made?
I do, yeah.
Like how is that? Like
he is such a legend and an icon, and I was over the moon to be just in like, I think I'm in like 2 scenes with him, but he's the nicest, most professional, down to earth guy ever. A cool story too about him. After we'd shot The Wolf of Snow Hollow that he plays the sheriff in, I think I was walking around in Hollywood somewhere, and this was like maybe a month or 2 months after we had shot the movie. And I was like walking past the diner, and he was in the diner. And so I like popped in and was like, hey, Robert, Mr. Forster, it's me. I shot Wolf of Snow Hollow, Jim Cummings. And he's like, oh, yeah, grab a seat. Yeah. And we talked for like an hour and a half, just like about his career and my career. And like, he was encouraging and supportive and gave me little stories about Tarantino and going to New Zealand for months to like have vacations or whatever. And I think it was like a month later, he passed away.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we had like this cool little like last like hurrah where he was just like he was so encouraging. He just kept saying like, go for it. Don't worry about what other people say and how long it's going to take. It will always like work out as long as you stick to the thing that you're passionate about. And he was very cool. He's the best guy.
Skyler, this is his advice for the future. Next time this happens to you, before you sit down and like say, "Oh, hey, I was in Lilo and Stitch with you," remember? You say, "Hey, can I record this conversation? This could be like the last podcast or whatever you ever."
I know. I totally should have. Yeah, I know I should have. That would have been awesome. Very cool to reference.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this story. I could get in trouble with my management company, but I don't really care because I'm a stand-up comedian. You know what I mean? Like I'm not really an actor,
right?
But so my management company represents this guy, Dennis. I know his first name's Dennis. I don't remember his last name, but he was the principal on Saved by the Bell.
Oh, cool.
Okay, right. So every year my management company has like this big party, so I went, and I don't do movies or TV shows, I'm like the worst actor on the company. And I see this guy, his name's Dennis. I know it's Dennis. I want to say his last name's Hopkins. I don't know, but so I see him, right? And I was like, oh my God, this is the principal from Saved by the Bell, right? So I went to go talk to him, and he's like an old fat guy now. Like he's no longer skinny, so you wouldn't recognize him. You know what I mean? Right. So I go up to him. And I was like, "Oh, hey, Dennis, I'm Keith Reza. Good to meet you." Being all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I told him, "Hey, I have this great podcast called Reza Riffs, and it's pretty famous, because I'm famous and you're famous. We should
yeah.
We should do this to me." And then he just looks at me, Skyler. I swear to God, he says this. He's like, I'm not going through good health right now, so I think I'm gonna pass. And he was like very serious, like he kind of implied he's on his deathbed, right? And then I said, "We could do it right now."
What do you say?
He just gave me like the weirdest look. And I was like, holy Lord. So what I'm saying is like, you got to take these opportunities, and I have no idea if he survived or whatever, but I always think if he did die, I could have got that last interview. You know what I mean?
I know. That's cool, man. That's cool. You saw him in the wild. Cool.
Oh yeah. But like, it was so weird because it's like, those moments because, the truth is everyone passes, you know what I mean? And like, but at the same time, like there's a building where it's like, hey, if you died after I interviewed you, as much as I feel bad for your family and friends and stuff, it actually really helps me. You know what I mean? Because I get all these clicks.
Right, because it's about the clicks. Yeah.
We live in a terrible society, Scott.
Yeah.
But what was the Star Wars like? That's got to be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, that was awesome, man. I'm a big Star Wars nerd too, so that was just, showing up on that set. You walk past a speeder on your right, and Jabba's palace is on your left. And, it was very cool. Our director was supposed to be Steph Green to shoot that episode.
Seth Green?
No, Steph Green.
Oh, Steph
Green. She's done a bunch of other stuff. Yeah. But she was quarantining for some other show, so she was like on a phone.
Yeah.
And so Jon Favreau was like, "I'm going to direct you guys for this scene."
Whoa!
And so we got John to be like our director for 3 days.
Yeah.
Which was incredible, and just like, this close to us and writing stuff down and going, try this version. And it was just like playing with the best of the best in that scene. We had Dean Cundy too, who was the cinematographer on that, who had shot Jurassic Park. And like, there's just like an insane amount of professional icon legends on that set.
Now, did you go up to him and be like, "Hey, listen, I know this might be a little unprofessional, but if you ever need someone to die in the next Avengers movie, that's me."
I should have.
You should have.
I should have. Next time I see him, though, there's a somewhat of a rapport, so I can go, hey, John, it's me.
Exactly. And then be like, do you mind if I record this?
Yeah, do you mind if I record all of this? But yeah, that was a trip, man. That was so cool. That was a surreal experience. Just to be in the same, I mean, it's all the same stuff. It's just with the best of the best.
Yeah.
You know, with people that have been doing it forever and they know what they're looking for. He was, you know, he just said, like, don't worry about the lines. Like, just get the moments and we can edit around it.
It's kind of cool because you're in the Star Wars universe forever now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I made this, this like character that I played, Fixer. Anthony Forrest originally played him in the original movie, but it was a deleted scene, so it wasn't like technically canon. So because of this show, that character is like now canon in the whole universe, which is so awesome.
And they're going to bring you back on stuff, you know, like for flashbacks and stuff.
I hope so, dude. That would be so cool.
That's one of those perks about being in like those big things, you know, unless you do something really, really bad, which you don't strike me as that type of guy. But
no.
But you know, they're going to be like, oh, we have to have Skyler Bible now because that's his character.
Yeah, like who is that character? Oh, it's him. Oh, we have to bring him back for this because he's now part of the.
Yeah, he's part of the universe. Yeah. Well, what's your favorite Star Wars film?
Favorite Star Wars film? I'm a big Return of the Jedi fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Empire Strikes Back is a very close second to that, but I think just like wrapping it all up was my favorite. Just my favorite piece of that whole franchise is seeing, you know, seeing what the thing that we've been waiting for is like, you know.
My favorite scene in Return of the Jedi is when Princess Leia is like handcuffed to Jabba the Hutt, and she's all dancing, and you're like, I like this movie. You know what I mean?
I like it.
And then, like, you know, she gets rescued or whatever, and then you're like, And then here's a fun fact, like I don't know, this was maybe 8 years ago or whatever. Carrie Fisher was like doing, it wasn't really stand-up comedy, it was more like trying to do stand-up comedy, like she was trying to do that, you know what I mean? And I opened up for her, right? And I was like,
oh, no way.
Yeah
that's crazy.
I didn't meet her or anything, like I just like brought her on stage or whatever, but I remember thinking to myself, oh my god, that's Princess Leia, she looks like Jabba the Hutt now. Like it was it was like really, and like and then like when you see that, you're like, it kind of brought me back to Dennis when I saw him at Saved by the Bell. I was like, I don't think this is really Carrie Fisher. You know what I mean? Like, it was just going through my head.
She's such a legend, though. She was the best. She's the best.
Yeah.
She's the best.
But I like Empire Strikes Back a lot. And you know what's so weird? Like, this is like a Star Wars hidden secret. But, like, if you Google the funniest scenes in all-time movie history, Harrison Ford has one in the very first one, and it's considered one of the it's like number 86 or something, where he like
the Stormtrooper one.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
That's my favorite scene of all Star Wars. Anything, oh my god, is that one?
Yeah,
is we're all good here now.
How are you?
Thanks. How are you?
Yeah.
And then he shoots it. It's a boring conversation anyway.
Oh my god. I'm so glad you knew that. I didn't. Yeah. That's like one of those hidden things. Like, and I remember like someone asked Harrison Ford about that, and he had no clue. It was like, oh, you know.
Yeah. I guarantee you that was probably an improv scene.
It had to be.
It feels so outside of like the Star Wars universe, but so within like his character too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's such a great that's a great moment.
That's great, man. Well, I have 5 more questions. I want to respect your time, but
thanks, man.
I got one more on Lilo and Stitch because this movie's going to make you a huge star, right?
And, I hope so. We'll see.
And you know, without going spoilers or whatever, because I do know on the cartoon they made a sequel, right? So there's a good chance they're going to make a sequel this, right? So then you're in the sequels. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that would be a dream. That would be a dream to go back to Hawaii, shoot with everybody. That'd be awesome.
That would be great. But I wanted to ask you, like, as an Agent Foster, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was it like working with the Stitch? Was he a cool guy?
I actually didn't get to work with Stitch at all.
My god!
I know. We the few scenes that I was in was like he was either had just escaped or was in like the other room with like the family. So I wasn't in. I was like, because the agents and Cobra are always like are constantly like chasing this thing that they don't really know what it is. So we're always like a step behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
One time I met Jason Lee, and you'll like this story, because I was a big Alvin and the Chipmunk fan, and Skyler, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I'm 38 years old. I'm not an idiot. I know there's computer graphics and all this stuff, but like I know even if you did work with Stitch, you didn't really work with I know this,
right?
I know that. Skyler, sure. I know this, but I saw Jason Lee, right, and I don't think Jason Lee knew this. I was like, hey. What was it like working with Alvin and the Chipmunks, and who is your favorite chipmunk? And the guy just looks at me like that was the stupidest question ever.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
How do you answer?
He just looked at me and he's like, how old are you? I was like, at the time I was like 33. I was like 33. Yeah. He's like, have you ever heard of like computers and stuff? I was like, I think so.
Yeah. They're out there.
I do like to play dumb, even though I'm like really, really smart. You know what I mean? I think that's the best. Have you ever done that where like like say you ask a girl out, right? Or ask a fella out, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
But the answer, you they don't like you, but you still do it and you go with the confidence, right? And you say, hey, would you like to go out for coffee? And they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Say, oh, I have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And then you just say, yeah, I knew that.
I have to say I haven't done that, but that's
it makes the rejection 1,000 times funnier because she's like, then why do you do that? You're like, in case
there's no response. You can't respond to that. That's great.
In case you're into this whole thing called cheating,
Jeez.
But this question has nothing to do with you, but I wanted to ask you your opinion.
Sure.
I was watching this documentary about the Egyptian pyramids and all this stuff and Stonehenge and stuff.
Cool.
And they have no idea how this stuff was made or whatever. So I wanted to ask you, in your conspiracy theory, how do you think these things were made?
Aliens.
Aliens. All right.
Of course.
Yeah. That's a good.
They had help. They had help. 1,000%. If there is, I don't know, beings that told them what to do or actually helped them physically, but there's too many unknown variables,
Oh. Yeah. That's a good answer. I got to think about that one.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Stew on it.
I do believe there are aliens because, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of this place called Roswell, New Mexico.
Of course, yeah.
But my father, like 20 years ago, he was like the mayor of Roswell, so he was like really
cool.
Yeah, he was like really like brainwashed that there's these 4 little guys who came, and I just remember every Thanksgiving story, he tells the exact same story, you know what I mean, about Roswell. And I remember one Thanksgiving, he's like, and I saw one, and you're like, oh God, I don't know if I want this guy to be my dad, right? And, and it's like every single year he just keeps saying, I saw one, and you're like, okay,
Did he see one? Did he see one?
That's what he claims, but I claimed that I saw,
yeah,
like, whatever. But I think that's a great theory. Like you want to hear my theory about this whole like Stonehenge stuff? Okay, now hold on to your hat on this one because this one's gonna
Okay.
blow you away.
Sure.
Kind of like Stitch and Lilo. It's gonna blow up the box office. Okay, so so in like 3,000, 4,000 years from today, right?
Uh-huh.
We jump in. You know what I mean? Like 4,000, whatever the year is. It's a long time, in the future. We build this thing called, now stay with me, time machines, right? And
Sure.
they build these time machines, right? And then
Yeah.
they say, hey, let's go into the past, like really in the past, and build this cool stuff so we could fuck with people of today's minds. You know what I mean?
Just as a prank.
Exactly. So I feel the people in the future are just laughing at us because we're fucking idiots. We don't know how this stuff happened, right? But
Just
they're
trying
like,
to figure it out.
but they made it. You know what I mean? It's like the
That's
best
pretty good.
joke of all time.
That's pretty good.
Hey,
I get it.
yeah. I like the whole
Great.
time machines part.
Yeah. Right.
It's from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Okay, so last two questions. What is your favorite food? Like when you go out, you know what I mean, to a restaurant. Like, do you have something you automatically know, or do you look at, or do you try different things at a menu?
I mean, it depends on the restaurant, but like, if you're just going out to get food,
Yeah.
I think burritos are my favorite food.
What kind of burrito?
El Pastor burrito.
Well, what's that?
It's like marinated pork.
Okay.
It's great. And they're everywhere. I mean, in LA, at least they're everywhere. You know, there's food trucks and you know what I mean? It's fantastic. Always. I'm never disappointed with a burrito, ever.
Do you trust the food trucks?
Yeah. I think I've never, the only place I've ever gotten like food poisoning from was like El Pollo Loco.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
But yeah, it was a bummer.
Yeah.
But that's the only place I've ever like experienced like that.
Yeah.
Never had a bad experience with the food truck. They've always been excellent.
I've always wanted to try like a food truck thing, but then I realized they're not really trucks; they're vans or RVs, and I feel like that's always misleading.
That is maybe not the best food truck to go to.
Yeah, like if they're saying, "Hey, this is a food truck," and it's an RV, you're like, wait a second. If it says it's a truck and I know it's an RV, I don't know if I could trust this food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta trust what you call it first.
Yeah.
Before...
like if you do it outside a truck, it's like, all right, now I kind of buy it, right?
Exactly.
But I once got food poisoning from Wiener Schnitzel. You ever go to Wiener Schnitzel?
Oh, I have only a couple times.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. And I got so sick that I haven't had Wiener Schnitzel in like 4 years. You know?
Yeah, same. I haven't had El Pollo Loco since. It's been a long time since I've even touched that.
It's like haunted me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
it's terrifying.
Because like I used to really like wieners.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, and then we're speaking of time machines. If you could go into a time machine and talk to a younger version of yourself, knowing everything you know now, what would you tell yourself?
Wow, that's a good question. Have fun with it, man.
Yeah.
Have fun with all of it. Enjoy like the moment to moment. Like, stop thinking about the future. Stop thinking about the past. Just like live in it. You know.
Yeah. You got
every second. Like, live to the highest stakes possible. Yeah.
That's good advice. I thought for sure you were going to say, "Hey, Skyler, this is Skyler Bible from 2025." Hey,
hey, just that. Hey,
if this guy named Keith Reza says do my podcast, you gotta say no.
You must say no. You must say you're currently busy.
Because you're promoting a Disney movie and he has a potty mouth. But no, hey Skyler, good luck with Lilo and Stitch, man. I really hope it does so well and it makes you a A-lister, because I know what it's like to be a struggling actor, and I'm just so happy that you got a part that is going to put you in the right direction of where you will no longer have to struggle.
Dude, thank you, man. I hope so. That's very encouraging. Thank you.
All right. Well, hey, if you're ever in LA, let's get together and get a chicken. Not from El
Pollo Loco or Wiener Schnitzel. Yes.
Yeah.
I know they don't sell chicken, but yeah.
Well, do it.
Let's do it, man.
You know how like eggs are so expensive and stuff? You know what I mean? Like
they're like $8-9. It's insane.
And I don't like to get political and stuff, but like it was getting like high, you know? So I, like a lot of my friends have their own little chicken. So I went to the chicken store to buy a chicken and they told me I could either get fried, baked, or, you know, I was like, what?
What? I want a live chicken.
Yeah, I want a live chicken. I want the eggs.
Yeah.
All right, Skyler. Well,
dude, it's been great.
I appreciate you and good luck, buddy.
Thank you so much. You too.
All right, guys. That was the episode. Subscribe, rate, review. Whoa, that was a lady. All right. That was the episode, folks. Subscribe, rate, review. We'll see you guys next week on Reza Riffs. And Skyler, where can the folks at home follow you and support you?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be just Instagram at Skyler Bible.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta get that blue check mark. I'm telling you, like,
I know, maybe that's the next on the list there.
like I was so against, you know, because Skyler, you know, I'm a celebrity myself, you know.
Of course,
I was so against of paying for a blue check mark, but I swear to God, this happened this week. My Facebook got deleted, and like I had to go buy that blue check mark on the Instagram to talk to Facebook to get my Facebook back. So when you have the blue check mark, you could actually talk to one-on-one customer service like you and me. Instead of an AI thing. So like it's like, dude, I think it's like a scam on Facebook to delete everyone's accounts who don't have a blue check mark. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow, I didn't know this.
I'm telling you, dude, like, because I have major anxiety on this stuff because Facebook is like 1/6 of my fan base. Like, it's a big function. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like freaking out and I bought the blue check mark. And then they're like, woo, you got a blue check mark. Let's make this. let's make this.
You get all the customer service.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, you gotta get that blue check mark. It's a lifesaver. You know
I'll do it. Maybe I'll do that. It's a good idea.
All right, Skyler. Well, it was appreciated, and thank you again. All right, folks, subscribe, rate, review, follow Skyler Bible, and we'll see you guys next week on Reza Riffs.